I traveled to Glacier National Park in Montana a couple weeks ago, and while I was witnessing that absolutely jaw-dropping beauty, it started to dawn on me that we should all be like national parks more. Now, why should we be like national parks? Well, a national park is absolutely beautiful whether you're there to see it or not. I started realizing that whether I'm here to witness Glacier Park or not, it's just doing its Glacier National Park thing, shining in its brilliance in every passing moment. And it's not only beautiful when I show up, it doesn't put on a performance for me. A national park doesn't put on a performance for all the tourists that are attracted to it. And notice how the national park, being so of itself, whether you're there to see it or not, attracts millions of people to come and witness its beauty and witness its light. And if somebody comes up to that national park and they say, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful, this is amazing, this is mind-blowing," the national park continues to just be itself. It doesn't lay it on even more thick because somebody thinks it's amazing. It just keeps being itself. And if somebody comes to the national park and they say, "This isn't really what I was expecting, this isn't as cool as I thought it was gonna be," guess what? The national park just keeps being itself. It doesn't care what other people's opinion of it is. It just shines in its natural, authentic brilliance in every passing moment. It doesn't water itself down for anybody. It doesn't come on too strong for anybody. It doesn't put on a performance. It just is what it is. And it doesn't care what you think of it. Now, not only does a magnificent location like Glacier National Park shine in its brilliant authenticity, but also just a little stream in your woods doesn't care what you think of it. It doesn't care if you're there to see it or not. It's just going to do its beautiful little meditative trickling, you know? It's just going to be itself. Or just a field, just out being a field. It doesn't care what you think of it. You could show up and say, this is kind of underwhelming, this is boring, and guess what? It doesn't care. It's not going to adjust itself to accommodate your opinion of it. It's just going to be itself. So nature itself, in a way, it's not just the national parks. Nature itself doesn't care what you think of it. It's going to be what it is regardless of what you want it to be. And it's not going to readjust or reorient itself to fit what you think it should be. If you don't like it, tough, that's what it is. And if you do like it, that's cool too. It's going to keep being it, so you're in luck. And we, as humans, should attempt in our lives to emulate that quality of nature more. Because after all, I mean, who are we kidding? We are nature. We literally are of the same substance of Glacier National Park, of the beautiful sunsets we see, of the mountain ranges, of the rivers. Think about it. The first thing we ever saw ourselves in was in the reflection of water. We saw ourselves through nature, right? We are nature, is the point. But because of culture and conditioning and society and the way our minds function as evolution has carried on, we've gotten ourselves all bent out of shape psychologically. We have a mental health crisis. We're all confused and weird, and we don't know who we are and what this is and what we're about, and we're scared to be ourselves. Which is really the point that I want to land on in this video, is that we're afraid to be what we are. I remember when I was a little kid, my parents, my mom and dad, were divorced. And I'll tell you right now, I was two different kids with each parent. My mom was very feminine and nurturing and loving and catered to the little boy that I was, no matter what that was too. And at Mom's, I remember I was so adventurous and full of wonder and playful. And I'd go outside and I'd be a wizard or a ninja, or I'd be like a living in a nature civilization that uses pebbles and pine cones as currency. And I'd go out and I'd just play and I'd imagine. And I had stuffed animals and my little blankie and all this stuff, right? And my mom supported that. And she loved it. And I was this expressive, wondrous child. But then when I went to my dad's, because of the way my dad was and is, and because of the way I felt in response to that, I became a whole different person. What I did was I snubbed out and packaged up all that wonder, and I became a more sort of sophisticated, grown-up, where although I was still playing, rather than doing like what I really wanted to do, which was to go outside and be adventurous and wild and play and my stuffed animals and all this stuff, what I did was I played with cars and toy trucks, and we went hunting and fishing, and you see, it wasn't as soft and watery and magical as I wanted it to be. And the reason it wasn't was because I was afraid for my dad to see that side of myself. So just sharing this early on story shows you how early in my life I began adjusting myself and standing differently to accommodate the perspective of others. I even remember my dad was so, this story right here will speak to why I was so afraid to be myself. My mom would get me clothes, and then when I'd come to my dad didn't like the clothes that my mom got me, and he would hide them because he didn't want his son having that style. Or if I wanted to grow out my hair or do something stylistic, I wasn't allowed to, because my dad wanted me and my brother to look a certain way and be a certain way. And so from such an early age, I learned to adjust myself and to act and to perform. And so many of us do this. I was going to say residual, but it's more than residual. It's the dominant reality a lot of us live in. It's called social pinging, where before you do something, you ping off of somebody around you, whether it's a family member or a friend or a partner or a coworker or strangers. Literal strangers. If you're in a public area, you ping off of other people. You think, I wonder what they will think of me. Now, yes, we are social creatures and we live amongst society. And we think in a sort of herd mentality, a group mentality, where we're considerate of the perspective of others. But it begins to become debilitating when it impedes on our ability to be ourselves. We're not here to be like Joe and Sally. We're not here to be like everybody. We're not here to blend into the wall. We're not here to snub ourselves out. We're here to shine. We're here to express and to share and to be a unique expression of nature. Just like every single aspect of nature already is. The natural environment. All the national parks, man. You think Glacier National Park is jealous of Yellowstone National Park? You see? Do you think Yellowstone National Park thinks it's not as good as Glacier National Park? Or it wishes it was like Glacier National Park? Or do you think they just rock it together as who they are and what they are, and they don't care what the other one's doing over there? Because they know that by nature, what they do is they shine. They're not afraid to take up space. Like, think about that literally for a moment. Being afraid to take up space. I remember my friend, Jake, a month or so ago, he bought a computer on Facebook Marketplace. And he spent like $550 on it. And long story short, the computer didn't work. And I started telling him, like, bro, you gotta return this. Are you kidding me? And he started telling me, he was saying, oh, but the kid was so excited to sell it to me, and I don't wanna let him down. I don't wanna make him feel bad. And I'm like, Jake, bro, he sold you a computer that doesn't work. He was afraid to lean into that resistance and say, hey, I need a refund because you sold me a computer that doesn't work. He was snubbing himself out to accommodate a stranger, this person who he was imagining, I don't want to make him feel bad, I don't want to bother him. That's considerate, sure, but also you're screwing yourself over in the process. And you want to ask yourself, why are you looking out for the feelings and the opinion of this kid who sold you a broken computer? Why not tell the kid, yo, you sold me a broken computer and I'm going to need my money back? And he did, and the kid returned it. And life carries on. And now my friend isn't down $550, and he stood up for himself. He expressed how he was feeling, you know? And you think about, like I've been at concerts before, and it's like a really crowded concert, you know? And I'm like crunching myself up to make space for everybody else. But why am I scrunching myself up for everybody else? Why not relax into the space that I naturally take up? That's what we should do. You're a human being, you take up the space that you do, and that's the way it is. You shouldn't fight against that. Be you. Now, taking up space isn't just physically taking up space. It means wearing what you want, saying what you want, spending your time the way you want and with who you want, posting what you want, listening to the music that you want. You ever playing music and then somebody comes into the room and you turn it down because you're afraid that they're gonna judge your music? Or somebody says, yo, you want the aux, bro? You want to put music on? And you're like, oh, no. Because you're afraid of what other people are gonna think of your taste in music? What it is it goes deeper. It runs deeper than being afraid that people won't like your music. What it is you're afraid that people won't like you. So what you do is you rob the world of you so that the world doesn't have the chance to like it or not. You say, if I don't play my music, there's no way they can judge it. So I'm going to just listen to my music in peace. Or if I don't post this selfie that I think looks really good, there's no chance for anybody to judge it. So I'm going to just keep it in my camera roll. Or if I don't wear these awesome clothes and this awesome outfit that I want to wear, there's no opportunity for the world to like it or to not like it. So I'm going to just keep it in the closet. If I don't share this idea that I'm passionate about, I save myself from being judged by it. So I'm going to just keep it quiet. If I don't say that I disagree with what so-and-so is saying, then they won't have the opportunity to argue with me about it. So I'm going to just keep quiet. We literally become neutral. We cancel out ourselves from our own life. But you want to know what makes for an interesting life, and you want to know what builds you into an interesting individual, is what's called polarization. Polarization is essentially healthy opposition. Polarization is the example I gave of my friend Jake saying to the person who sold them a broken computer, hey, you're going to need to give me my money back. That's polarization. Yeah, sure, it's a stranger that'll probably never meet again, but that opposition is what results in learning about who respects you and who doesn't. That opposition is direct. It's a setting of a boundary, really. The opposition and the polarization is saying, this is who I am, and you can either take it or leave it. It's about owning who you are and realizing that you're not in control of anything else outside of that. When you be who you are, people are going to judge it and people are going to like it. There's no way around it. No matter which way you wiggle around and put on a performance or hide and tune down certain qualities of yourself or over express other qualities of yourself, no matter what you do, people are going to like it and people are going to not like it. You can't get around it. So why not just be you? Why spend your time being who you think somebody else wants you to be? Why live your life through the eyes of other people? Imagine if the national park tuned down its beauty when somebody didn't like it. So now everybody else that comes up that thinks naturally it was beautiful sees something else. And they're like, oh, it's not a beautiful national park anymore. Because the national park was afraid and took offense to what some random judgmental tourist thought of it. This is what we do. We walk around and we're wearing something we like, and somebody says, dude, where'd you get that? That's lame as hell looking. I've literally had people in my videos be like, this guy needs a stylist or something. It's like, dude, I'm just wearing clothes. I usually don't even think about it, first of all. But second of all, I like what I wear. And then you get somebody that doesn't like what you do. They don't like what you're about. Or on my live streams. My live streams are a beautiful, like, sampling of society. Because I get my friends, the people I love, the people I've connected with, and then there's this whole onslaught of new people. And the new people are characterized by people that are kind, people that are inquisitive, and people that are judgmental and rude and arrogant. And I don't really think differently towards any of them other than seeing that some people like me and some people don't like me. That's the only thing you can do. No matter what you do, people are going to like you and people are going to not like you. So the best thing you can do is to spend your time being you. And how are you going to attract people into your life that like you if you're not being you? The people if you spend all your time being what you think other people want you to be, you're going to attract people into your life that like the version of you you're trying to be. They like the mask, the persona, the facade, not you. I heard it put recently that, like, have you realized yet how there's not really, like, good movies or TV shows as much anymore? It's just not as, like, good as it used to be. It's because a lot of people, a lot of producers and directors are making movies and writing scripts not that they're passionate about, but that they think other people will like. And that's not art. That's not art. Art is radical authenticity. Art is courage and expression and a lack of concern about showing up as weird and quirky and different as you may be. Art is not uniform. Art is not a conformist to what other people want or what we think other people want. Art is appreciated by those who realize that it deviates from the norm. That's what makes good art. Good art is characterized by its weirdness and difference and radical authenticity. Now, there was this story shared of, there was this guy who was getting married and he needed a suit tailored to him. So he was recommended the best tailor in town, Zumbak, the best tailor in town. So the guy said, all right, I'll go see Zumbak and see what he's got. So he goes to Zumbak and he says, these are my sizes, these are the dimensions, make a suit for me, I hear you're the best tailor in town. So Zumbak says, okay, I got you. The guy comes back a week later, Zumbak gives him his suit, the guy puts the suit on and it's all out of whack. It's not right. The sleeve is too short, it's all crooked and bunched up in the shoulders, and there's too much fabric down here. So the guy, being polite, he says, Zumbak, this is a very nice suit, but the sleeve is too short on my left arm here. And Zumbak says, it's not the suit, it's the way you're standing. You have to stand like this. So the guy adjusts how he's standing, and sure enough, the sleeves are even now. He says, okay. And then he says, well, Zumbak, the shoulder, the fabric up here is all bunched up, that doesn't feel too good, that doesn't look too good. And Zumbak says, it's not the suit, it's the way you're standing. Stand like this. So the guy adjusts himself yet again, and the fabric, the bunched up material disappears. So he says, okay. And then he says, but Zumbak, there's all this extra material down here at the bottom, and my wife hates when there's just all this excess stuff that's not neat, Zumbak says, it's not the suit, it's the way you're standing. Stand like this. So the guy adjusts himself again, and there goes the excess material. So now he's got it on fitted perfectly, but he's completely out of shape. So he goes onto the local bus to take a ride back home, and the person sitting in front of him looks at him and says, oh my gosh, Did Zumbak make that suit for you? And the guy says, how did you know? You know, all crumpled up. And the person says, well, you see, only a tailor as skilled as Zumbak could suit somebody as crippled as you. This is what we do. We scrunch ourselves up to fit the image of what we think somebody else wants. And everybody else on the outside goes, oh my God, you look so good, you look so good. While we, who we really are on the inside, is suffering. We're crumpled up, we're not being ourselves, but we're getting the approval of everybody else on the outside because they don't see that we're crumpling ourselves up. What they see is the front, the show that we're putting on. So that's the consequence of adjusting yourself to fit what you think other people will want. It's devastating to your life. And it's also devastating to life as a whole. You know, imagine like a bird being afraid to sing its song. Oh God, what are the other birds gonna think of me? What is, you see what I'm saying? What is the, oh my gosh, there's humans here, I can't sing my song when they're there. Imagine the sun being afraid to shine as bright as it does. Oh, I'm gonna turn myself down. All these people saying, oh my God, it's too hot, it's too bright today. Oh, I should turn myself down a little bit. Imagine a river not wanting to, I'm gonna slow down a little bit because I'm just running a little too fast for what people may like. Nature doesn't give a shit what you think of it. And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't give a damn about what somebody thinks of who you are. Now, there's a multi-step process in coming to terms with who you are. The first being knowing who you are. Knowing who you are and what you want and where you're headed and what you're about. That's the first step, is to know who you are. And it might sound simple and obvious, but a lot of us have lost sight of who we are because we've become so enveloped in living up to what other people want us to be that we've completely lost sight of who we are. So the first step is to remember who you are. And the second step is to start testing it out a little bit. Start being who you are. And I'll tell you right now, it can be a bit horrifying because you'll realize that when you start being who you are, whether that's posting your art or posting your selfies or wearing the clothes you want to be, like just think about this. Think about somebody who comes out of the closet as homosexual. How drastically, oh my God, everybody hates me now, you know? Everybody doesn't like you. They liked the version of you they thought you were. And then when you come out as homosexual, oh my God, you know? That's what happens. That is the cost of being you. Is the people who don't actually like you will leave. But you know what? As hard as that may be and as horrible as that may feel, it's a good thing. Because when you be you and your partner leaves you, or your friends start not talking to you as much, or you get fired from your job, or you get all this hate online and everybody judges you and stuff, that's a good thing. Because those people don't like you. Those people don't like or resonate. It might not even be about like, it's more so about a vibrational resonance. Those people don't resonate with you. And now that you're showing up as who you are, it's not a vibrational match. And they're going to vibrate out of your life in one way or another. But you know what? That needs to happen. If you want to be authentic to who you are and own who you are, that needs to happen. You need to be willing to have the courage to be you. There's a book that's kind of blowing up recently. I think it's called The Courage to Be Disliked. It's kind of exactly what I'm talking about. It's not necessarily about the courage to be disliked part, but what I am talking about is the courage to be you. which goes in tandem with being disliked a lot of the time. And that's why we're all running around trying to be what we think everybody wants us to be. It's because we don't want to be disliked. But man, your life will begin to really bud and blossom in the way it was meant to when you start being and owning who you were meant to be. So don't be afraid to take up space. Don't be afraid to show up as who you are. Shine like a national park. Shine like the river. Shine like the sunset. Shine like the meadow. Be you, irrespective of what others want you to be. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And before I go, I do want to say that right now, if you watch this video, and this is your first time coming across me, I post content like this every single week, or if you're a returning viewer, I want to let you know that I'm offering completely free calls right now, where if you have something going on in your life, and this video resonates with that in some kind of way, or if you watch any of my other videos and they resonate with you, and you want to talk with me personally, you can schedule a completely free discovery call with me, where we'll talk for a little bit, and we'll see what you have going on, and we'll see how we relate together, and we'll see if it's a good idea and it's a good fit for us to do work together in the future. So if that resonates with you, if you like the sound of that, don't hesitate. It's completely free. You can find the link to schedule the call in the description below, and I really would like to see you there, because it's such a beautiful time getting to know each other in that kind of way, and it's my passion. It's what I do. So with that said, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video.